Hey all, Siege here, and today, well, we're talking about story again, so buckle up, because this one is, well, it's something that kind of bugs me. Why do we seem to always get so many cliffhangers and stingers in games like Warframe, Destiny, Borderlands, and many titles that have long-form story that gets stretched out over a significant period of time? I think you might even be able to apply this to television and movies as well, where, a film or episode will leave a stinger at the end of one story alluding to something much bigger, but then in the next piece of content, we get another story that usually has nothing to do with what the last one was building up to. I was watching some other opinions on the campaign in Borderlands 3 and how disappointed some people were with it, based on the exclusion of quite a few prominent characters, as well as something a character called the Watcher alludes to in an earlier title. Having no previous experience in that universe, I personally enjoyed the story, but I got to thinking about the countless iterations of this in both Destiny and Warframe and could immediately identify with their issue. Let's see, in Warframe we have the Man on the Wall, now appeared 3 times in game during the Chains of Harrow, the Chimera prologue, and its first real appearance was in November of 2016 at the end of the War Within quest. Now, years later, given its ability to both control and confuse the Tenno, what do we really know about it, and why is that? Shouldn't, we be more concerned about it? How about Nata? She left the Tenno years ago, yet I'm still looking at this annoying copy of her all the time. And in 2 appearances since she became an enemy, we've only learned a minuscule amount about her and her family, and even then, you have to consider that at this stage, we really don't know what's truth and what isn't, between the brainwashing of Nata by the Orokin, or the brainwashing of Nata by the Sentients potentially, or both. Who knows, but because of this, her dialogue in the Ropalolist fight can't be fully trusted. To this day, we still don't know what happened with Margulis, Ballas, and Nata, the single act that really birthed the story of Warframe, and all we've been doing for the past year in game really is talking to the very people who would know, Ballas and Nata specifically. And it's never even brought up. So many times in Warframe, I think to myself that the character could just ask the question. Just ask it, but they never do. What happened on the Zerman? Seems like the Grineer Queen knew. Why not ask her, say, right here? Offer her life for the info. Nope. All right, well, Teshin obviously knows, right? We didn't ask him during the quest, but we can just go to the relay and do it. Oh, wait, there's no prompt for it. And I want to believe the new war is going to give us some concrete answers, but for some reason, I feel like even if we get some answers, they will only scratch the surface of the situation, and then who knows how long after that, as substantial quests are, well, they're becoming more and more scarce. These are only a few of the concepts DE has put forth and then pulled back on, as I'd throw in the Stalker, the other Grineer Queen, Simodius, and even Alad V, who was just in the Jovian Concord, amongst many others, mind you. I guess we're just cool letting him continue making the amalgams, yes? In my opinion, although I feel it's closer to fact, is that the Second Dream was the peak of Warframe's storytelling, and it's been kind of slipping in quality ever since. The War Within and Chains of Harrow are both really, really good, but not quite on that level, right? The Sacrifice, while also solid, is still a step down from Chains and War Within, and then you have the quests associated with both Fortuna and Cetus, and those are barely even quests. Chimera and Apostasy are just playable trailers at best, and that's it since December of 2015. Destiny is really no different. Just off the top of my head, I can think of the same type of instances. Let's think. What happened during the collapse? What happened to the Traveler originally? Did Rasputin shoot it down or not? What exactly is Marisov? I have my own theory on that one, but, it's just a theory. Are we not concerned with the other 2 sisters orcs had? I mean, we really haven't gone after them or even tried to figure out anything about them. How about this big worm on Titan? Given that we fight the same damn thing on Mars, should we maybe be concerned about it or no? Where's Osiris, and why have we not talked to him at this point? How about Tolan? Can we ask him anything of legitimacy, or are we just subject to his prose all the time? What happened to Aldrin Sov? Where's he been for the better part of a year now? Because if he was resurrected as a guardian like that cutscene showed, wouldn't his first instinct be to come to the tower? Like how it was with all the rest of us? Guardians don't have a memory of their past, right? Is everything in Shadowkeep a reskin? Okay, sorry, that last one wasn't lore related. I apologize for getting off track a little bit, but Destiny is particularly guilty of this, with quite a few characters and story threads that were either ended abruptly in-game without any real answer, or open-ended mini-stories located all throughout the lore. I mean, if a universe wants me to care about the lore, then as I see it, said universe has to act like it also cares about it and understands major questions such as these or countless others, kind of break the immersion the game is attempting to cultivate. Something like Borderlands will really never have to deal with this problem because the entire world is built on pure absurdity, and thus really anything goes and nothing crosses the line. Destiny and Warframe, to a lesser degree, are built in worlds that have a more serious tone with their lore, and thus can't get away with as much. So, for example, the idea that the story in Warmind and Destiny 2 centered around an already established dead character from Destiny 1 and Anna Bray, at the same time also retconning the location of another major character in the AI Rasputin, who Destiny 1 had established on Earth, but was actually here, I guess, while serving the immediate story, breaks the world already established. And, if this happens enough, people begin to not want to invest anything in it, because why should they if it's just going to change on a dime? What's even more troubling is that the stories we always get in game seem vastly inferior to what shows up in the lore, at least in Destiny. And if I count all the quests in Warframe, not just the major ones, I could probably say a similar thing. Best way I can describe where we're at in the grand timeline of both games is right about the middle of the thing, like Act 2, if you will, of a 3-part story. And I feel like we've been here for years and years now, basically doing side missions. Hopefully some of the answers will come, preferably in-game, with either Shadowkeep or the new war, as both are centered around answering some long-standing in-game questions. Having Eris Morn as the main point of contact has me holding out hope that we'll get some actual answers rather than more questions, which we're supposed to, regarding her original fire team that was decimated during the failed assault on the moon. I'm not really sure anybody was, really asking about that incident at this point, but, a definitive end wouldn't be a terrible thing. The new war is set up to answer many of the immediate questions I have with Natah's split from the Lotus, and what really happened when Natah assumed Margulis's form. Maybe it's, I don't know, because I actually have to read all this shit and would just like to put some of it to bed in my mind, if you will, but I just want some catharsis, So how about this? What established lore or story in either Warframe, Destiny, or really any game would you desperately like to see get finished, but the game just hasn't or didn't ever get around to completing it? Some obscure ones I can think of almost immediately, for me at least, are what happened to Cain after Defiance in the Legacy of Kain series? How about Isaac Clarke at the end of Dead Space 3? Sadly, those are two we'll probably never get to see at this point, but I'm still holding out hope. How about you? At any rate, I hope you all have a wonderful day today, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk at you in the next one. Bye.